Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. This is going to be general messages for the sign of Pisces in the month of August 2018. Hello, Pisces. How are you doing? I hope you guys are doing well. I don't know what it is about Pisces energy, but it makes me sing. I think your sign, more consistently than others, I end up singing to you guys. Anyway, welcome to your reading. As you can see, Pisces, I've gone ahead and I've shuffled off camera for you. Just going to shuffle now and get your outcome and your overall energy. If you want to get straight to the reading, check the time. Check for the timestamp in the description box below. Let's go ahead and get the outcome for Pisces in August, please. And Pisces, I hope your summer is going well. Hope everything is going smoothly for you. Feeling good, looking good, smelling good, all that good stuff, yeah? Oh, there it is. Three of Cups, that's nice. And, oh, interesting. Alright, Pisces, I'm going to go ahead and flip this last remaining card. All cards are now face up. I'll go ahead and ask what I need to ask, and we're going to get into your reading, okay? Where's Pisces, please? Please show me where Pisces is for August. Here. Thank you. Alright, Pisces, you come into the month of August as the Hanged Man. Major Arcana card. Oh boy. Oh boy. That might sound a little more daunting than I mean it to. You're hanging out. Pisces, you're just rolling with the punches. You're hanging out. You're not really making waves. You're not really wanting to upset the apple cart at all. You're not really wanting to make big moves in August. You really just want to go with the flow and sort of see where life, not see where life takes you. You do want to have some steering going on. Like you kind of want to nudge things in a certain way, but you're also not wanting to be demanding that they go a certain way. I think you're a little trepidatious about being overbearing, about being too assertive or too aggressive, or just even in some cases having expectations that are too high and lofty and therefore sort of impossible. Like if your expectations are too high, then there's no possibility that you'll be satisfied or that you'll be happy. So you just want to chill out. You want to feel relaxed. And in other cases, you're just realizing you need to slow down. You need to take your time. You need to refocus. Okay, thank you. Some of you need to refocus and sort of not go back to the drawing board and sort of scrap whatever you were working on or whatever was sort of your pet project or what you were hoping for. Not to put it all into the garbage, not to do any of that, but sort of slow down and refocus and sort of adjust a few things. So you're recalibrating. Thank you. You're like going back over the details. Okay, thank you. Thank you for putting it in a way that I can understand. You are proofreading. Like that's something I've had to do so many times in my life. You're proofreading. You're editing. Okay, you've kind of have something out in front of you. Some of you literally might have a project in front of you that you're working on, or a game plan, or whatever you're doing. Maybe you're planning a trip. Whatever you're doing, and you literally kind of have like it in your head or visually in front of you some kind of way. This will lead to this, and then over here on this date I'm going to do this. It could be something like a calendar. Some of you are looking at a desk calendar, and you're, planning your month of August, whatever it is. And you're just you've set that out, and you thought, okay, cool, I've got it set. I know what I'm doing, or I know what to expect. And then something inside of you, mostly for most of you, it's something inside of you. But for others, it's something externally. Whatever, you were motivated to go back and to re-look at whatever you had worked on previously. And you're like, oh, all right, so I'm going to move this here, and then that will actually move over here, and then I can be okay. So you're having to reroute things, recalibrate things, and like I said, refocus or get some further clarity or further assurances before you actually make a move, okay? Now, okay. And I feel that these two energies are sort of like, I think I said, yeah, like internally you guys were having an issue. I think these would be the internal energies. And the rest are, yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, is that two? Is that two different ways? Could be. You're so funny, could be. Alright, so let's start here. You've got Eight of Swords right next to your starting position of the Hangman. So Eight of Swords, you were in your head, Pisces, as you tend to do, and you were basically like, I can't do anything. And I hate to put on like this voice, but that's kind of what I it feels appropriate. I can't do anything about this. What am I gonna do? Woe is me. I'm trapped. I'm stuck. I'm stifled. I have no way to rescue myself. I'm in a helpless, dire situation. Now, that's a hugely sarcastic voice. It might be kind of condescending and patronizing to some of you, and I apologize for that. But that's sort of like them. Sort of like, I think because for me, like, visual and audio is usually what happens, and that's what I'm getting, is like, is kind of the vocal presentation. So some of you might have had that. Like, some of you might have been in your own heads and sort of like were mocking yourselves, or like kind of condescending to yourselves or patronizing yourselves. You're like, oh, Pisces, look at us. We just can't get out of this mess. We're stuck. We have no way to get out of this situation. We're poor us. Like, some of you were having like that kind of internal dialogue where you were basically being a bitch to yourselves. Like, you were really like nagging yourselves, or like really putting yourselves down, and sort of kind of feeling like you deserved what you were getting, and you were having like this not so great self-image or self-conversation, self-dialogue, okay? So that's why I think they sort of wanted me to vocalize it that way, is this was in your head. You were feeling like you couldn't get out. And I'm saying this in like a past tense. So this is something I think you would recognize as being a recent thing in your life, you know, past month of July or June, or even back to May, where you were feeling like, what am I going to do? How can I do anything about this? I don't know. Feeling really stuck, and like really having logically, because this is swords, so that's your mental capacities. So logically not having an answer, logically not having an explanation, logically not having a plan forward, having a plan of action, okay? And you realize this in the now, in August. You know this. You know that's what you had. You know that is something that you might currently still be working on. But what you also realize is that is just the mind plays tricks on us, right? Your own mind can play tricks on you. So a lot of you are realizing this was a self-deception. You realize that this was something that you tricked yourself into believing. You conned yourself into believing that you were stuck and there was no way out of a particular situation or a particular state of mind or in a particular emotional state. And you just believed so hard, Pisces, that this is my lot in life and this is as good as it gets. You know, love it or lump it. And no, that's not the case. Like, you know that now. So that's why I keep saying were. It was this way. It felt like that. It's very past energy. For some of you, it still might be like a current thing that you think of, or that you might be addressing in your hangman phase. Like, oh, look at me and my negative self-talk. Here I go again. And in your hangman phase, you're able to more readily see it, because the hangman is about a different perspective, right? He's hanging upside down. Most human beings live the majority of their lives upright, on their feet are on the ground, and that allows you to see the world a certain way. I don't know how often you do it, but even now, as a person who's not so young anymore, I occasionally will, lay down on my bed or lay down on, let's say, a sofa or something like that, and kind of twist my head in a certain way where maybe I'll lay and I'll look at a room and my head is tilted to the side. And just the way that you can observe the light, the way that you observe the way certain shapes hit your eye, and the way that your brain processes that shape when your head is tilted is very different, a totally different sensation. And the same would happen if you laid down on a bed and your head was over the side of the bed and you sort of were looking at your room upside down, right? Like suddenly the door, the entryway to the door, everything is just different, right? You see the feet of the bed, you see the things underneath your bed, or another way that you can do this is just to lay down on a floor, like get to the perspective of like a child or a pet. And I do that sometimes, like you lay down and you get down to the level where your dogs or your cats are or your children are. And you're like, wow, this room seems huge. Like when you're standing up in your own room, walking around in your own house, you take for granted the proportions of your space. But if you lower your perspective, if you lower that, you get closer to the ground, the ceiling seems so much further away. It's kind of crazy, like your dresser is huge, the stove, the refrigerator, it's just big. Everything is massive, right? So the hangman is what you're doing. You're trying to change your perspective, whereas the Eight of Swords may previously have been a big looming energy in your life, Pisces, a huge mental state that you were in where you felt trapped, enclosed, as if you were a victim of a kidnapping or something like that, and you were held hostage. Now you're trying to flip that perspective and realize or perceive it as being much smaller, perhaps even more containable or surmountable for you. That's what you're doing. You're also doing it with the Two of Pentacles, because both of those are happening. So the Two of Pentacles, Pisces, which comes right above the hangman position, is this being stuck between two choices, or, weighing up your options. Seeing the pros and cons between two or more choices, right? And Pisces, I know you guys, you can be very overwhelmed and flustered and sort of exhausted when it comes to choosing. You can easily become overwhelmed if a situation involves too many parts, too many moving parts, too many things to consider, right? And so, not to say all of you, but many of you kind of get stuck in a paralysis, like, thank you. Like the vision. I don't think it's like an actual meme or anything, but I think it could be like a meme, like an astrology meme, like ways to make Pisces' head explode. Like take them to Baskin Robbins and ask them to choose one ice cream. Like, oh no, 31 flavors, how can I choose just one? Like, it's like that. Because Pisces, you are someone who loves the variety of life. You love different things. You love different experiences. You love different people. Okay? And you get attracted to different things. You have many hobbies. You have many interests. You have many different friends. You have many different tastes in music, in clothes, in movies, in food, in cuisine, whatever. And so when someone's like, choose one, or even choose two, you'd be like, but wait, what about number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? You'd be like, so when it comes to being definitive and decisive, sometimes, Pisces, that can be quite daunting to you. That can be really vexing to you, and like it overwhelms you, or it upsets you in some type of way. It might make you angry, some of you Pisces. And I know many people think Pisces don't get angry. Oh yes you do. Oh yes you do. You get angry, and when it happens, I'm always shocked. I know it happens. I've seen it happen. But even still, I still get surprised. So, anyway, so there's something about choosing right now. This is less of a past energy. It's more of a present and future energy. So choosing now or sometime in the future is kind of giving you pause. It's kind of giving you a little bit of anxiety, which encourages or influences you sticking it out in the hangman position. Because I think, Pisces, your solution to the anxiety of choosing, or to the task of having to make a choice, is to pull back a bit. Your solution is to take a step back, like I said before, refocus, recalibrate, and really get into the nitty-gritty details to really then make the best choice going forward. And what you want to go towards is, some of you is like, Ace of Wands is something that you're going towards, or something that you're considering. You want new, exciting, brand spanking new car smell, shiny, everything new. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Very titillating in some cases. Very titillating. But in other cases, this is about inspiration. This is about feeling jazzed up and revved up and fired up towards something in your life. So it could be a new job, a new passion, a new hobby, whatever. For others of you, it's a new person, whether that's actual dating, whether that's just sexual escapades. I feel a lot of sexual energy in the Ace of Wands, which is not always how I feel this energy, but for some of you, this is like, no, a good roll in the hay is like, hey, okay. Like, that is on your docket. You're like gearing up for that. You're like, I'm going to take my time with this, but when I'm ready to choose, I'm going to choose right. Because you want to be satisfied. So some of you might be coming, pardon all the innuendos, but some of you might be coming out of a dry spell, okay? And that's good. You realize that where you were isn't the end all be all of your life. It was a part of your life. It was a phase in your life. It was a time that maybe you are gaining, or you want to gain, a bigger perspective from. You don't want to look back and think that was miserable and there was nothing to gain from it. So also in the hangman perspective, or in the hangman position, excuse me, you want to get a perspective that allows you to appreciate a little bit more of what was going on here. That might be for some of you. Some of you might have like a real interest in, I don't want to feel bad about what happened here in the past. I don't want to feel bad about this part of my life where I was really like down on myself and down in the dumps and feeling as if I had nothing going for me. I don't want to look back on that and think it was this ugly, terrible part of my life. I want to have a bigger perspective from it. So, yeah, that's nice. Now, you've got the Wheel of Fortune and the Page of Wands over here. So where are we going next? Show me. Right, thank you. So, so going forward, very much attached to the Two of Pentacles, you've got the Wheel of Fortune card. So, Wheel of Fortune, you've got, you've got the fixed signs associated with this card. So that's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. You might have people of those signs, or a person who is one of those signs of significance around you, but it doesn't have to be. Just giving you a little bit of background in the tarot. Now, the more important thing is the energy itself. Wheel of Fortune, literally, is a card dealing with fortune. Now, fortune is a nice word by itself, but because it has wheel of in front of it, it is not necessarily always good. It's a gamble, right? It's a toss-up. It could be good, it could be bad. And I think that's kind of the message here, is I think you're more open to, And that's a strange thing to say, but you're more open to this energy. Pisces isn't a gambler in the traditional sense. Pisces will not gamble for the sake of gambling. Thank you. That's how it is. If you'll gamble for the fun of it, you'll gamble for the experience, you'll gamble for the adventure, and you'll gamble in some cases to alleviate boredom. But for the purpose of winning or losing and having that be on the line, a win or a loss, that doesn't appeal to you. That doesn't appeal to you at all. You don't like the prospect of taking risks for the sake of winning and losing. You're like, I want to take risks because it would be interesting. I want to take risks because it's a challenge or because it's something I've never done before. It's a new experience. It's a new adventure, right? So that, I think, is sort of in the back of your mind, or is sort of like the backdrop of this experience or this reading, however it applies in your life. So it could be your romantic life, it could be your business or your career, it could be, you know, your own personal development. Regardless, the prospect of winning or losing isn't the focal point. It's the prospect of taking the chance and just sort of enjoying the ride. Seeing what, you know, you roll the dice and seeing if you get craps. Roll the dice, looking for the 7, okay? Oh, God, it's I hope I'm explaining that clearly for you. Excuse me. Yeah, I hope I'm able to explain that clearly to you, because again, it just feels like it's not about win or lose, and it's not about how you play the game necessarily, but it's just, yeah, because when people gamble, when you spin the wheel, you want it to be favorable. Nobody spins the wheels like, come on, I want to crap out, I want to lose all my money in this game of poker. Nobody does that. Or excuse me, roulette. Nobody does that. Nobody stands at a table in a casino and says, I want to lose all my money. I mean, some people might. But, pardon me. Most people, one second. Okay, Pisces, sorry about that. But yeah, most people don't want to lose when they gamble. And you don't either, Pisces. But you're not like so hardcore on winning. I think you want to be more comfortable with just taking the gamble. With just seeing how it plays out. Like, again, I think making choices, excuse me, and gambling for the sake of gambling doesn't appeal to you. But you want to become more at ease and comfortable with those prospects. You want to be more comfortable with making definitive and decisive decisions. You want to be more comfortable and at ease when it comes to rolling the dice or spinning the wheel or pushing your chips all in on, you know, when you're playing poker. You just want to be more comfortable with making those moves, making those behavioral changes, okay? One second. Okay, Pisces, sorry about that. So yeah, that's basically what's going on in the Wheel of Fortune. You just want to become more comfortable with being a risk taker or being someone who is possibly caught between two choices or a few choices and just being decisive and being assured of this is what I want and following through, okay? And to have that comfortability, I think you're relying on the energy of the Page of Wands. Court card in the Wand suit, so relative to fire signs, Aries, Leos, and Sagittariuses. But you don't have to know anybody who's any of those signs, and you don't have to be closer than anybody who's those signs. It's the energy. So this could be someone who is around you, who is supportive of you, or is a friend to you, or is a confidant to you, whoever, or this just could be your own energy. But regardless of who it might be, the energy says hopefulness, optimism, not necessarily pragmatic, but definitely focal, visionary. Someone who's like a visionary, has a clear picture of what they want. They might have unconventional or unsuspecting ways of going about achieving their vision and their goals, but there is this sort of gung-ho like energy with the Page of Wands. This is a person who can get stuff done. And sometimes they might bite off more than they can chew. They might sort of operate best or get really revved up when it seems the odds are stacked against them. But there is, like I said, there's this optimism and a strong bit of perseverance with the Page of Wands. Okay? So again, that could be someone who's close to you or someone that you admire or that you're hanging out with, or it could be your own energy, Pisces, or you're relying on this part of yourself, or you're cultivating this energy within yourself. I like it because, again, there's just this deterministic energy. There's just this drive in this person, in this card, that says, I can do it. I can take the risk. I can roll with the punches. And I'm going to come out okay on the other side. Not even on top. I'm going to come out okay. I'm going to come out pretty much unscathed. I will have experienced what I will have experienced. I will have a new understanding, a new way of seeing my past and my present, and I'm still going to push towards my future. My past and my present circumstances aren't going to stop me from getting what I want, from seeing my vision become a reality, okay? Very nice, Pisces. Very nice. And you're the first main read I've had in a long time where it's just 6 cards. I was getting a lot of triplets in my readings, but maybe you're turning the tide for the readings, Pisces. We'll see. Now your outcome for August is the 3 of Cups. So party, party, party. Shots, shots, shots. Everybody's having a good time. You want to have a good time. Your friends, people who are close to you, family, whoever, they want to have a good time too. And you're out there doing it. So August seems to be a good month socially. You could be celebrating with people, like I said, having drinks, having dinner, socializing hardcore, but socializing steadily, having great moments of fabulous socializing, okay? So, deepening bonds with people, making new friends, meeting new dating partners, whatever. Out there having a good time. If it's not any of that, this is still a celebratory energy. So you might have a little mini celebrate me day, right? There might be something that you've worked for or that you were hoping for that comes true or that comes out in your favor, and you might just have a quiet little celebration to yourself. You might sit in your cubicle at work and you get an email about, oh, such and such was approved, you can go ahead, we got the money for the project, we were approved for the grant, or maybe you were hoping to get new equipment at your job and you were like spearheading the push for that new equipment, and you get it. Now, other people at your job, they don't know, or they don't really care, or they don't know how it's going to affect things, but you do, Pisces. And so you do like a little victory dance in your chair because, you know what, I did that. I was a part of that, and now we're going to have, new machines to work on in this place. This is going to be great. Or we're going to get new software, or we're going to get, excuse me, new equipment for the lab, whatever it is. Excuse me. My God. Anyway. That's wonderful. So good times ahead for you, Pisces, in August. Good times ahead. Pardon me. Overall energy for August is the 9 of Swords, however. Now, don't get scared. Don't get scared. I think that this is sort of like the monster in my closet or like the monster under my bed kind of a situation where I think in the background, in a in a corner somewhere in your mind, is just this worry, anxiety, and pressure. Okay, thank you. And in some cases, a pressure that I think will make its rounds. Like, nobody on this green earth will live a life devoid of the Nine of Swords energy. We all have this come into our lives frequently, or on some type of frequency, on some type of schedule, or in some type of capacity. We all deal with this. So for you, Pisces, I think it's just looming. Like, you might be expecting it. Is that right? Okay, exactly. Monster under the bed. So, I'm sure we all know, like, kids' stories or bedtime stories or whatever that talk about children who are afraid to go to sleep at night because they think there's a monster in the closet or under their bed or whatever. And the reality is, it's just not the case. You know, sure, we've made lots of Hollywood horror movies where that is the case, or cute little Disney movies where it is the case, but the reality is, in our reality, that's just not true, okay? So that's sort of what this is. It's like you are believing in the folklore, you're believing in the horror movie or the cute Disney movie. Yes, there are monsters in the closet, there are monsters under the bed, or if you're a fan of the Poltergeist, scary little clown dolls in the closet and under the bed, okay? God, now look what I did to myself. I made myself think about that. Anyway. And you're believing that those movies and those characters from those movies are real, and it's just not true. So don't give in to this. I think this Nine of Swords is here as a warning for many of you, and just as a reality check for others of you. This will happen. Don't fall prey to it. Don't fall victim to it. Don't fester in this energy. Recognize it from your hangman position and just kind of like acknowledge it. A lot of times energies will pass you by, or dwelling in energies will pass you by if you simply acknowledge them. Oh, I see you, Nine of Swords. How are you doing? Yeah? Oh, you want to remind me of my social anxiety? Okay, thank you. I'm still aware of that. You didn't have to stop by. And have a good day. And it will dissipate. It will disappear. It will go away by simply acknowledging it. Acknowledging why this energy shows up, what it is associated with, who it's associated with, what circumstances or situations it's associated with, and it will just, like, dissipate. Right? So, don't sweat that too much. Overall, Pisces, you have a phenomenal reading, I think, where you're getting this just, like, bigger picture. You're able to just focus yourself and focus your mind in a way that you probably haven't done in a long time, and in some cases never in your life before. So that is your reading for August. I want to thank you for watching up until this point. If you like what you saw, hit the like button, comment below, share the video, and of course subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. That would be amazing. If you want a personal reading with me, that information is in the description box below. And I will be back in about a month's time when I come back and I do your September readings, okay? All right, Pisces, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.